Something strange is haunting Las Vegas in 2025. It's not the ghosts of old casinos, but an eerie, deafening silence. The endless river of tourists that once flooded the Strip has vanished, leaving behind empty streets where vibrant crowds once roared. The city that never sleeps is now a ghost of its former self. From iconic, now abandoned shopping malls to the hollow echo in once packed casinos, a shocking decay has taken hold. The glittering symbol of the American dream seems to be teetering on the brink of an unthinkable collapse. How did the entertainment capital of the world fall so far, so fast? Is this a temporary downturn, or are we witnessing the end of an era? Do you believe Las Vegas has betrayed its own legacy, trading its soul for short-term profits? If you agree, comment with the number 1. If you disagree, comment with the number 0. Enjoy the video, and don't forget to like, share, and leave a subscription to support us. And now, let's uncover the story. To truly grasp the scale of collapse unfolding in Las Vegas, we don't need to look at the flashy neon lights of the Strip or the multi-billion-dollar casinos. Instead, let's turn our attention to a ghost lying silently in the desert, the Prim Outlet Mall. Its story isn't just about a failed business. It's a chilling case study in the fragility of a dream, a clear warning sign for an entire city on the brink. Once a monument to American consumer culture, Prim Outlet in its heyday was a must-visit destination. Strategically located along the vital corridor connecting Los Angeles to Las Vegas, it was once one of the top 5 largest outlet centers in the country. Nearly 100 top-tier brands like Nike, Tommy Hilfiger, Coach, and Michael Kors transformed the site into a shopping oasis, where millions of travelers stopped to hunt for high-end bargains before diving into the Vegas fun. The food courts were always packed. Laughter echoed through the halls, creating a vibrant symphony of prosperity. It was a money-making machine powered by a seemingly endless stream of visitors. But in 2025, the scene paints a hauntingly different picture. Prim Outlet now resembles a ghost town from a post-apocalyptic movie. The once lively corridors are silent, the only sound being the desert wind whistling through shattered doors. Stores are shuttered, signs are faded, and the massive complex now holds just a tiny thrift shop, a bitterly ironic reminder of what used to be. This isn't just a failure, it's a total erasure. So what deep-rooted causes turned this once thriving symbol into dust? On the surface, the answer may seem simple. First, there's the fatal geographic flaw. Prim Outlet's business model was built on a single assumption: that the flow of tourists would never stop. With no sizable local population to rely on, the mall was entirely dependent on the stream of cars crossing the desert. Second, the COVID-19 pandemic delivered a death blow. When lockdowns were enforced and long-distance travel ground to a halt, Prim Outlet's only lifeline was severed overnight. However, blaming the pandemic alone would be too simplistic. The tragedy of Prim Outlet reveals a harsh business lesson about the danger of lacking diversification. Like a reckless investor betting everything on one stock, Prim Outlet gambled its entire future on a single customer base. When that base disappeared, there was nothing left to fall back on. This is a lesson every business, large or small, must take to heart. Total dependence on a single revenue stream is not a strategy. It's a roll of the dice. The second, deeper lesson relates to shifting consumer behavior. The pandemic was merely a catalyst accelerating a trend already long in motion: the rise of e-commerce and the fall of traditional malls. In a world where anything can be delivered to your door with a single click, a remote shopping center in the desert became obsolete and inconvenient. Prim Outlet couldn't adapt, and in business, failure to adapt is a death sentence. Ultimately, the collapse of Prim Outlet is a microcosm of a much larger problem in Las Vegas. The entire city, much like this mall, built its empire on tourism. As visitors began to feel exploited by hidden fees, overpriced services, and a lack of authenticity on the Strip, they started to turn away. Prim Outlet was merely the first domino to fall in a chain reaction that now threatens to bring down the whole city. Its empty hallways don't just hold the dust of the past, they carry a warning for the future. Any dream built on an unstable foundation, no matter how dazzling, is at risk of collapsing into a ghost town. If the collapse of Prim Outlet was the first warning sign, then the Las Vegas Strip is where the disease erupted into a full-blown crisis, striking at the very heart and soul of the city. The decay is no longer hidden in the outskirts. It has crept into the center, transforming the entertainment paradise into a sophisticated trap where visitors' trust is eroded by two sharp blades: economic deceit and social insecurity. First comes the blatant financial betrayal. The clearest sign that the era of Vegas for everyone has ended came when Ocean One Bar and Grill, an icon known for its $4.99 lunch menu, was forced to shut down. Its disappearance didn't just mean the loss of a restaurant. It marked the loss of a promise that luxury could still be affordable. Since then, the entire Strip seems to have entered an unethical race to drain tourists' wallets by any means necessary. Advertised $99 hotel rooms are just bait. When the final bill arrives, that number can easily balloon to $175 after a maze of absurd fees. A $55 resort fee, a $13.38 room tax, and the height of shamelessness, a pool usage fee, even when the pool is closed for maintenance. A Vegas vacation is no longer a joyride, it has turned into a gamble where the guest loses before they even check in. Tourists' reactions were inevitable. They voted with their feet. Iconic casinos like Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, and MGM Grand began to feel eerily empty, their bright neon signs only serving to highlight the emptiness inside. Visitors started turning instead to local casinos, places that still held onto a shred of old-school Vegas spirit. Cheaper rooms, surviving buffets, free parking, and most importantly, a sense of being respected. For many, it wasn't just about saving money. It was an act of protest against the feeling of being legally scammed on the Strip. As one Canadian tourist bitterly put it, "Why would anyone come to a place just to be drained of their money?" Vegas has lost its soul. But the tragedy doesn't stop at the wallet. As the economy crumbles, so too does the city's social fabric. A raw and painful image now stands in stark contrast to the glitz. A growing homeless crisis. The areas surrounding the casinos are now ringed by makeshift tent encampments. Multi-million-dollar billboards shine their neon glow down on human suffering, illuminating men and women struggling to survive another night. Even more heartbreaking, many of them were once hotel workers, cooks, or security staff in these very casinos and resorts. They were the hands that built Vegas's glory, and now, they sleep under tarps in the 113 degrees soaring piste, 45 degrees Celsius, desert heat. According to reports, Clark County alone had nearly 8,000 homeless individuals in 2025. They're no longer just under bridges or in parks. They now set up camps directly outside restaurants, hotel entrances, and casino lobbies. Streets that once buzzed with excitement now leave visitors walking briskly, uneasy, and on edge. This new reality is pushing away the middle-class families and older tourists, longtime loyal customers who once formed the backbone of Las Vegas tourism. This is the death spiral. Overpriced services and hidden fees erode trust, causing tourists to turn away. Lower revenue forces businesses to lay off workers, increasing homelessness. The visible rise in encampments further scares visitors, driving them away. These two crises, economic and social, feed off one another, creating a vicious cycle eating away at a city once believed to be untouchable. When trust is broken and safety disappears, what's left to keep people coming back to a paradise that's busy destroying itself? The crisis in Las Vegas isn't confined to the glittering corridors of casinos or the makeshift tent cities springing up like weeds. What's happening is a brutal economic and social domino effect, where each falling tile knocks over another, creating a destructive wave rippling from the heart of tourism into every corner of everyday life. This is no longer just a tourism problem, it's an economic nightmare engulfing the entire city. The first and largest domino is Las Vegas's overdependence on a single industry. The city bet everything on tourism and entertainment. A study by the Brookings Institution revealed an alarming statistic. Over 55% of the local workforce relies directly or indirectly on the hospitality sector. That means the city's economy is built on an incredibly fragile foundation. When the flow of tourists, the lifeblood of this body, began to dry up, everything else started to shut down. The ripple effect was inevitable. Taxi companies and car rental services went dormant. Souvenir shops gathered dust. Food suppliers lost their restaurant contracts. Even businesses in the suburbs' grocery stores, small markets struggled as their primary customers, hotel workers, faced slashed incomes and tighter budgets. This leads to the second domino, the collapse of the labor market and a social safety net in crisis. As revenue plummeted, major corporations had no qualms about using the harshest cost-cutting measures: mass layoffs. Tens of thousands of service workers, cooks, security staff, and housekeepers suddenly found themselves unemployed. Those lucky enough to keep their jobs saw their hours cut, making it impossible to make ends meet. This vicious cycle directly fed the homelessness crisis we now see. People who once proudly built Las Vegas's hospitality reputation have now become victims of its collapse, pushed out of their homes and forced into makeshift shelters. As personal income and corporate profits evaporate, the third domino begins to wobble: the city's public budget. Clark County has long relied heavily on hotel and casino taxes to fund public services. Public finance reports show that entertainment tax revenue dropped by nearly 8% in just 1 year. A catastrophic figure for a city where nearly every function revolves around entertainment. The result? Critical infrastructure projects are stalled, community welfare programs are slashed, and public healthcare services are being rolled back. A city cannot sustain prosperity if it can't take care of its own people. Finally, perhaps the most painful domino of all, the erosion of morale and trust. The city that never sleeps is now tired and running on empty. People who once took pride in Las Vegas's energy and endless opportunities are now staring down a harsh new reality. A quiet question begins to haunt the community. Does this city still have room for ordinary working people? When a city built on the promise of opportunity and generosity turns into a burden of high costs and instability, it doesn't just lose tourists, it loses its soul. Las Vegas's economic nightmare is a costly lesson in the danger of building an empire on sand, and now, the winds of change are blowing it all away. Do you think Las Vegas, the city of lights and opportunity, is facing a real economic nightmare? If you agree with what's about to be shared, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're still unsure or not quite convinced yet, drop a 0. We want to hear your take. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you deeper insights into the stories that are shaking our society. And now, let's dive into the next chapter of this unfolding reality. If the economy is the skeleton of Las Vegas, then trust is its lifeblood. And in 2025, that lifeblood is running dry. Beyond all the statistics about empty hotel rooms or plummeting revenue, the most dangerous and deep-rooted issue eating away at the city is a profound loss of trust. Las Vegas isn't failing because it's no longer dazzling. It's failing because it's no longer trustworthy. Tourists, from lifelong loyal visitors to first-time vacationing families, are increasingly sharing a common sentiment: the feeling of being deceived. There was once an unspoken pact between Las Vegas and its visitors. Come here to escape reality, to have fun, and we'll give you a touch of luxury within reach. You might lose a few bucks at the tables, but you'd never feel like you were being scammed. That pact has been torn apart. Today, the Vegas experience feels more like stepping into a financial maze, meticulously engineered to drain your wallet at every turn. From $30 cocktails and $40 snacks to outrageous resort fees, every small detail is designed with one goal: maximize profit at the expense of the guest. Over 60% of tourists say the cost is not worth the value they receive. This is no longer a fair exchange, it's exploitation. That betrayal has hit international visitors and older generations, the hardest people who remember a more generous Las Vegas. They fondly recall the days of grand buffets, free drinks, and affordable entertainment as staples of the Vegas experience. Now they feel pushed to the sidelines. On travel forums, disappointed comments pile up. Vegas used to be our annual getaway, but now I don't even recognize the city I once loved. When a destination loses its most loyal visitors, its once voluntary brand ambassadors, it's a sign of a deep crisis of trust. But perhaps the bigger blow comes from within domestic tourists. Once the most stable and dependable backbone of Vegas tourism, Americans are quietly walking away. They're no longer chasing flashy excess. Instead, they're seeking simpler, more authentic, and budget-friendly experiences. National park attendance is soaring, a clear indication that travel priorities are shifting. Tourists are tired of having to stay constantly alert to avoid being unfairly charged. When even locals no longer see Las Vegas as a top choice, what's left of the city but empty chairs? The result of this loss of trust is a self-perpetuating downward spiral. Fewer visitors mean less revenue. To compensate, corporations raise prices and add even more fees, which only deepens the sense of betrayal among those who remain. Negative reviews spread across social media and travel sites, discouraging new potential visitors. Small businesses, which depend on that flow of customers, are forced to shut down, leaving the city looking increasingly abandoned and uninviting. In the end, Las Vegas faces a harsh truth. Trust is an intangible asset, but it's the most crucial one in an economy built on hospitality. Rebuilding a casino is easy. Rebuilding lost trust is almost impossible. The question now isn't how Las Vegas can shine again, but how it can get people to believe in the light once more. Amid the bleak picture of collapse among the empty hallways and a chorus of disappointed complaints, is there still a light at the end of the tunnel for Las Vegas? The answer might be yes, but it's a faint, flickering hope, coming from the very corporate giants that helped create the crisis in the first place. It seems that, after staring over the edge of the cliff, some of these industry titans are beginning to realize you can't build a sustainable empire on broken trust. We're starting to see early signs of repair first steps that could potentially reshape the future of the city. Hilton is leading the way with a transparent pricing initiative, promising to show all costs up front at the time of booking, a direct strike against the hidden fee culture that has so badly damaged the city's reputation. Similarly, Marriott has rolled out all-inclusive packages designed to offer the same sense of security and value as Caribbean resorts. Delta Airlines, in partnership with local hotels, is offering discounted flight and stay bundles in an effort to revive the long-lost promise of a value vacation. The most ambitious of all may be Hyatt's Destination Reset initiative, a commitment to not just rethink pricing, but to reimagine philosophy. Their focus: sustainable experiences, local labor support, and community investment. These aren't just business strategies, they're a long overdue admission that a tourism city cannot thrive if it turns its back on the very people who give it life. These moves show that the industry is waking up to its own mistakes. But the biggest question remains: is it too little, too late? When a city once known for trust and generosity is now remembered for high prices and disappointment, what legacy will Las Vegas leave for the next generation? Will it be remembered as a golden chapter in entertainment history, or a cautionary tale about unchecked greed? Are we witnessing the final breaths of a once glorious empire? Or are these just the growing pains of a rebirth, a more humble, authentic, and sustainable Las Vegas? The answer perhaps lies with all of us in the choices that tourists, businesses, and leaders will make in the years ahead. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you found this content insightful, please don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you deep, quality analysis like this in the future. Because this isn't just about Las Vegas, it's about what we're all building toward, together, in a post-crisis world. See you in the next video.